the most obvious question, that what gave you the courage to start at 41 and how was the change like?
Starting a career at the age of 41 after being a homemaker for almost 2 decades. I believe in one of my posts that, the moment we start accepting and stop expecting,
Yeah, that's such a
we
strong line. What is the first step any female should take if they're aspiring to be an entrepreneur?
so first step is self belief
Yeah.
and a clear understanding of what you're getting into. The moment you start treating your revenue as your income, that's where you start going wrong.
Exactly, I agree. I agree. Because that's a
So
lot what you need in your business when you start out. Then there's learning, then there are mentors, programs, and then team once you build a team. So you need that.
in a very complacent stage in 2021 where थोड़े पैसे बना लिए जितना नौकरी में बना रही थी उससे तो 5 times 10 times हो रहा था, so it was like good fun. I'm
Yeah.
buying what I want to buy, and I'm like having a good time. I'm being complacent.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Female Founders Community. And today's story is really inspiring and encouraging. Have you ever heard age is just a number? It really is. My guest today, Shweta, started her career at the age of 41 and she is doing a great job and has amazing success. I know her story, and today I want to bring to you a story of encouragement and inspiration that you can learn from and realize that age is just a number. You can start when you want to and still have success. Welcome to the show, Shweta. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Manmeet, for having me.
So we would begin with, the most obvious question, that what gave you the courage to start at 41 and how was the change like? And what were you doing before? So that's like two, three questions. What were you doing before? What made you bring that change in 41 and where did you get the courage from?
What I was doing before, I did my PG in banking and business finance and got married to a. I belong to a Marwadi household and never picked up a career. So, it was not something that I'd planned that I will be a housewife, but it just happened. Now, how did I get this opportunity? Destiny, I would call it, because I was not again contemplating on starting a career at the age of 41 after being a homemaker for almost 2 decades. And so in my head it was out of the window, even if I think about it. And it so happened that a friend reached out to me saying that we're looking out for a business development person in our organization, and would you be interested? The courage that I got was the persuasion from this friend and his wife that we trust your abilities, we trust your potential, and why don't you give yourself a chance? This is something that nobody ever told me. Nobody whom in my friends family never came and told me that give it a shot, we are there with you, or we trust your ability, or we trust your potential. That persuasion actually gave me a courage. Again, kids had grown up, so I had that window to give myself that chance. I didn't want to sit and regret that I didn't give myself a chance. Again, courage also came from, now that I connect the dots, courage also came from incrementally, by me trying out different things like mountaineering, trekking, marathons. So it does start creating a dent on your mindset in a positive way. And I believe that when this opportunity came, that that growth of mindset really helped me in taking that plunge. I've always been, Manmeet, the person that, uh, try karte hain kya hi ho jayega. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's the basic mindset that I work around with. And perhaps that has been, instrumental in my journey to a larger
Absolutely.
extent.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you mentioned that, the mindset is what actually helped you to take that opportunity, onboard that opportunity, and get started with it. Because I think there are, multiple resistance and roadblocks at the time, but then the biggest one is our own mindset and our own thoughts, what we are thinking about, and the questions that we ask ourselves. So the mindset plays a very, very crucial role in how do we want to take the next decision of our life. At the same time, I know that your mindset and the growth mindset helped you to take that plunge, to take that opportunity. But did you say yes in one go, or were there any kind of resistance or roadblocks to take up this new skill or bring a change in life?
Thousands, and they are still there. so so growth mindset does not mean that you don't have episodes of doubting yourself. Growth mindset does not mean that it's like, okay, now it's a hike.
Yeah.
So being a mountaineer, what lesson that I've learned is that even if you are on a journey to climb a peak, you will have uphills and downhills during your journey. And
Right.
so when I did my Everest base camp, that was a revelation of sorts, that even if while I'm at uh, 2,500 meters, and I'm not just climbing uphill to 5,300 whatever, so I'm just going back to 500 and then going up. So this
Yeah.
is this is very much what life offers you. So yes, answer my answer was yes, yes. So when I take a decision, I don't contemplate on the decision whether I took the right decision or not. I just go about it and make it work, so to say.
Yeah, exactly. I would so agree with you. Most of the times, when I've said yes to opportunities that have resulted in, one of my achievements or something good in my portfolio, I would say it was okay, I'll do it. And then figuring out, okay, how will this be done?
My journey, Manmeet, has been always working backwards. So
Yeah.
okay, ये कर सकती हो, हाँ कर सकती हूँ, and then I'm
कैसे
like,
करना है?
कैसे करना है, let me figure out. So I read
Yeah.
somewhere, I remember that it's a good thing to take the plunge and then figure out how to go about it. And
Yeah. The worst
because
is that, it will not result in something. That's the worst that could happen. But at least you give a try. So,
true.
yeah.
I agree. So yes, I said yes, and then the moment I said yes, and in my head I will, oh shit, how am I going to manage the 24/7 ideal housewife, and then managing this. Also, part of me is like concerned about how do I do justice to all the roles. I
Right,
think most
exactly.
women have this challenge. They want to be perfect
Absolutely.
in all the roles. And in the span of what 8 years that I've worked now, uh, one thing that I've realized is self-compassion. It's okay
Exactly.
if you are accepting people around you, in your family and friends and circle, that it's okay. You can do only that much, or maybe you gave. Don't be hard on yourself, but you never
Absolutely.
do that kind of self-talk.
Yeah, I think a part of it is also how, our society in the last decades have been shaped up, because I think it is a responsibility where girls have been trained and, if I may say, brainwashed in a way that you have to be perfect, you have to give your 100% everywhere. And then, you grow up with the fact that even if the other person is not questioning you, even if the other person is not saying anything, that self guilt kind of, comes to you, and you're like, okay, I'm not able to manage this, I'm not able to manage this. And I think, like you said, this one question is in every girl's mind that is about to get married or wants to have a career with marriage is, मैं कैसे manage करूंगी, work also, house also. So I think that self guilt comes in, and very rightly you said that we don't think about ourselves, it's always the other person. to think about ourselves is the last thing. Okay, once everything is done, then we think
And
about
in spite
ourselves.
of that, Manmeet, we are blamed to be very selfish.
Oh yeah,
Because
oh yeah.
yes, because हम तो कमा ही रहे थे. There was no need for you to, take all the
Right.
pain. And why the hell it is even required? And if you are
Yeah,
doing it, if you are taking all those pains, then why are we to be blamed, or why should we accommodate? So
exactly.
it's okay. Life
Yeah,
happens. I think once you own your story
yeah,
and want to, design your story in a way that you're proud of and you're confident about it, everything else kind of
I
dilutes
think,
itself.
yeah, yeah. It comes
Up.
together.
No, even if it does not, it doesn't affect you anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So see, the whole problem is that you expect everything to work in
Yeah,
tandem with your thoughts, and that's not going to happen.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
never going to happen. So I wrote, I believe, in one of my posts that, you know um, the moment we start accepting and stop expecting, uh,
Yeah, that's such a strong line.
life happens.
Yeah,
It's easier said than done, but every single day whenever I have these challenges in any form, I just close my eyes and I say that, okay, it's let's accept.
yeah,
But having said that, there's an again school of thoughts which says that accept karte rahoge to fir
yeah, yeah.
you choose your battle. the
Yeah, you
battles
choose your battle. Yeah. I
the
would also,
battle
I would also love to ask, you've answered a part of it already, but I would love to, reiterate this. Whenever you do face these kind of challenges, the kind of self guilt or somebody questioning you, and whenever life is happening, what are some of the ways that you try to, bring yourself back, or maybe, come into that confidence back that no, I'm going to keep doing it. This is my life, my story. Is there anything that you do just to, I don't know, balance your thoughts or that situation for that matter?
So, couple of things. That I have only two options. Either I walk down to the base, or
Yeah,
I climb up, see the view, feel accomplished, and walk down to the base. These are the two
right.
options that I have, and look forward and have happy memories. So I choose that आधे रास्ते तो आ ही गए हैं तो आगे बढ़ते हैं.
Hmm.
That's my approach. Mm, because 2020, when I had given up my job, um, I had to, rather, because our business did suffer a lot of setback, the business that I was representing. So I had again the choice that should I go back to being a homemaker, because this opportunity just fell in my lap, and I picked it up
Yeah.
and it was a good experience, but like, should I continue? Because given the job scenario at that point in time, for a 45 or 46-year-old woman with a very small experience from a very small organization, it was a uphill task.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, how do I build resilience and how do I bounce back, is two things. I talk to my mentor,
Yeah.
and I actually asked him that, I keep coming back to you and asking the same questions, and is it also not some kind of validation that I'm seeking? So
Yeah.
he said, "No, everybody needs that reassurance from time to time,
Exactly. How
So
would it be? Yeah.
I will tell you, when you are leaning too much on it
Yeah.
and you're not helping yourself build back that resilience. So a mentor is definitely a good thing to have to build resilience, or someone
Yeah.
who is non-judgmental, who is very objective,
Yeah.
who's passionately involved in your dreams.
Right.
So that is something that really helps. One thing that I've acquired in the last few years is, a friend of mine did this meditation thing. I was never a meditation fan. I thought that it was all a fox thing, कुछ होता नहीं है इसमें, नींद आ जाती है बस. So uh, uh, I tried my hands, I'll admit, but then it's not for me is what I thought.
Yeah.
But I still think meditation as such, because when I cook, for me it's meditation. When I
Yeah.
just walk, for me I don't have to sit idle to meditate. But one thing that I've acquired is journaling. I don't journal every day, but the manner in which she suggested, I kind of liked it. And whenever I'm a little depressed, so I don't journal every day, but I just pick up that journal and I start writing in that format. So the format is very simple. What is your intention for the day? What are your goals in present tense? Affirmation and gratitude. So it's a very holistic approach of looking at things. And the moment I just pen those things down somewhere, that healing is done, and I'm okay, chalo, let me start working. So yes, these are the small things that I do
Absolutely.
to
I think
build.
I've picked up so many, strong points from what you said right now. Like you mentioned that meditation is something that is not working for you, but at the same time, cooking is meditation for you. So I think I read one of the posts where it said that, meditation is just when you are calm, your thoughts are at ease, and you're just feeling very good. That feeling good is meditation. It could be dancing for someone, it could be singing for someone. इफ आई मे से योर इन योर ओन ट्यून, सो हिंदी में कहते हैं ना कि अपनी धुन में हो, तो वो जब आप धुन में हो, दैट इज मेडिटेशन एंड दैट कैन बी एनीथिंग. पीपल डोंट नीड टू फॉलो इन द ट्रैप ऑफ ओके दिस नीड्स टू बी डन, this is how everyone is doing it. I think that is something that holds people back of not doing anything. And the
So
other
I
thing,
agree with
yeah,
you, because when I pursued Hindustani vocal, so no matter what kind of conversations and what kind of stress level that I am in, the moment I entered and I sat with my guru and I started practicing, I was in that Zen mode, so to say.
yeah, yeah,
I instantaneously, I would perhaps be, really entering the room crying and all. And then in 5-7 minutes, all that is gone, and I'm a different person when I walk out of the room. So I agree that music or anything, even trekking for that matter, really helped me. सी
and
आपको
at
लोग नहीं चाहिए, लोग आपके आसपास ना बैंडेड होते हैं.
right,
अंदर से जब तक आप ठीक नहीं होगे, बैंडेड कितना काम करेगा.
absolutely,
और
I
आप
think
उस
that's,
बैंडेड से एक्सपेक्टेशन लगा के रख लेते हो कि बैंडेड लगाइए तो ठीक हो जाएगा. नहीं होता.
I agree. I totally agree. I think, and that's a very powerful thing to say, and very few people have the courage to say that, and I feel that that inner acceptance and that inner love and that inner your own thoughts are required very strongly for other people to be there and to support you. You need to have that openness. When you're so content inside, you have the courage to go to the other person and say, hey, this is what I need from you, rather than waiting that they'll come and do something. So that inner acceptance
And
is very
also
very
believing that they may or may not understand. Like,
exactly.
हर एक का एक स्वभाव होता है. ओके. इनेट नेचर जिसको हम बोलते हैं. तो जरूरी नहीं है कि आपका स्वभाव दूसरे का स्वभाव जो आपके आसपास है वो एकदम वर्क्स इन कंप्लीट सिनर्जी. इट नेवर
Yeah,
हैपेंस. So
absolutely.
if you start accepting them the way they are, sooner or later they will also learn to do the same. And
Absolutely.
then that's the starting point of building compassion, I believe. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I would, let's come back to the question where now you got an opportunity, you went through that opportunity, and now was the time when you had to decide that what next. So when did you get into entrepreneurship, and how did you decide that now I'm going to be an entrepreneur?
So just like the job, things happened, so I will call it destiny. So the thing is that जो भी opportunity मेरे सामने आती है मैं test करती रहती हूँ. That's how I am.
Yeah.
So when during COVID I thought that let me upskill myself. So digital internship came my way, and the reason why I picked up digital internship is very funny, because I had invested a lot of money with Success Gyan events, and I was like, I can't be spending more money because I was a homemaker. So all that money was
Yeah.
a kind of husband's money, so to say.
Yeah.
So, digital internship was a fresh breeze that I'm going to go get my money back. That was the whole intent when I joined. And as compared to any other courses that will help me upskill, this is a good one because I'm going to get my money back. And
Right.
that was the idea. I was following a lot of other social media influencers and coaches, etc. But yes, I was following Deepak also. But yeah, I love the whole concept of getting your money back, and that's why I joined. And in that, in the probably the second last or the last assignment, we had to create a digital product. And uh, in the whole chaos of the household chores during COVID, etc., the time that I had in hand, I thought that okay, I know a little bit about LinkedIn because I've been in a B2B business and building business via LinkedIn. I had also started a LinkedIn local community, which was part of a global initiative here in Thane, where I live. And all that put together, I had only those things, that I could manage to talk about. So I created this ebook, and we had to sell this ebook. And that's when I realized the reviews that I got from the ebook, which I had just created as a part of an exercise. I had not created to, build a brand value or anything of that sort. But then I realized that there is a market, there's a need.
Yeah.
And if you have the right intent, you may possibly have a successful stint here. And that's how I thought about it. Once I thought that okay, I have to now coach, then it's good to first understand things from the coach perspective. No, I was just a LinkedIn consumer by then. So
Right.
I started educating myself more on LinkedIn, and 2020 July, as quintessential Shweta, I just launched that there's a masterclass happening and you guys come. And then once I put that post out, I decided, okay, अब तो हमको presentation बनानी पड़ेगी. So, that's how it all started. The funny thing is that I launched that masterclass, and the masterclass was to happen just 4 days after that. So
Yeah.
everybody like, are you crazy? Like, should give given at least couple of more weeks, to organically sell and all that. And I was like, it's good that if I have less people, I will have less embarrassing moments because this will be my first. But once I did that, and people came for 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, diligently. All of them were complete strangers, and that's when I had crossed a bridge of sorts. Ki, okay, now I'm capable of adding value, and part of it is also a function of low self-esteem. In a way that okay, are you good enough? And
Right.
when you're working for an organization, you accept low pay packages because of those self esteem. When you launch yourself as a coach or consultant, or you start your entrepreneurship, you accept low price points because of that low self esteem. And I didn't want to, you know, begin my journey with that. So
Right.
I
Right.
just wanted to make sure that that self belief is in place when I start, so that the starting point is right. So
Absolutely. So again, the story of say yes and then do it. Put that post out and then figure out the presentation and how you're going to deliver it, and it will, be all good in the end. And I think I'm going to ask a follow-up question, which I'm sure every listener by now wants to know. That how much is the business helping you do in revenue right now, currently? Like how much revenue does this business bring you?
So, all the business that I have acquired till now is all organic and inbound. I have not done any marketing as such. I've not done any outbound pitches or sales. Considering that I am earning, say, an average of 2 lakh per month is what I'm making as of now. But, you know, now is the time when you have the proof of the pudding. This year was really instrumental in the transition of me from freelancing to an agency owner, going through the drill of hiring people and then
Yeah.
learning how to delegate, because I was always the executor. So
Absolutely.
in my life all through, so I don't know to delegate. So all that was a learning curve for me. Now that I have a team and amazing team, very small as of now, but yes, I want to grow. But I am now all set to scale this business in a big way, and I'm also all set to accept all the challenges that will come in the way. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
But I'm
2024
sure
is going to be
game changer
game
year.
changer.
Yeah, let's change the game. Let's all of us change the game in 2024. And I would want to ask that, as you mentioned that I was the executor all life. And of course, in entrepreneurship as well, you started on yourself, you're doing everything together. So there's a value system, there's an ethic that you work with because, it's your own thing and you started and you learned it. When you get a team, do you ever feel that, okay, this is not up to the mark the way I do it? How do I teach them? And this is also, that something that is coming from my own experience as an agency owner. Do you ever feel that how do I teach my team to do it exactly the way I do? Is that a kind of feeling you
It's
ever
an
get?
ongoing process, Manmeet. If you are expecting them, so someone else can feel that I'm not doing good enough,
Yeah,
so I can also feel that they are not doing good enough, or they should be, doing exactly how am I doing. What does that infer also in a way is that I'm very perfect, I'm not.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not, to be very honest. So how do I expect that perfection from my team? Only thing that I can do possibly is uh, go back in time and understand how I started and what all did I do to come where I am, and
Right.
kind of share that with my team so that they are also, you know find they also find it relatable and they get the push. See, it's
Absolutely.
intent, I believe, is everywhere. If the intent is to give your best shot for the client, or best shot as a team, best shot as whatever, add value to your life, and add value to the people that you are answerable to, I think intent is the key here. If the intent is
Absolutely.
right, everything else will fall in place. Capabilities and skill sets are something that can be built over a period of time. Understood also that, okay, this is, so I have understood that, when I hired a team, I understood that this genre is not meant for this person.
Right.
This genre is meant for this person, so I should leverage, work on the strengths rather than
Yeah.
keep managing their weaknesses. I think within the team, that is also an approach that every entrepreneur should look
Yeah,
at.
exactly. I
Everybody
agree.
has their zone of excellence, and if you can tap that zone of excellence, you will derive a good result out of the team.
Right. So that is identifying that, who's best at what, where is the scope of improvement, where
And
your
it's a learning
experience can
curve for
come
the
in.
founder to do
Yeah,
that,
yeah, absolutely.
especially
Yeah.
in a small setup like us, where you are the person. I've not been trained to hire a team, manage a team, or whatever, but the intent is to build something meaningful. Uh,
Absolutely.
and my mentor once told me, when I first draft a proposal and I sent it to the client, looking forward to, that's a conventional end
Way
sentence,
of
that
saying it.
forward
Yeah.
to your reward. And he just corrected that sentence and say, looking forward for a mutually rewarding experience.
Oh,
And
that's
this
nice.
was this was like this was and this stayed with me. And
Yeah.
looking forward to a mutually rewarding association, looking forward to a mutually rewarding experience, and I've been using it. So with my
Mhm.
team also, I want this kind of thing to come. It's a mutually rewarding. They should love,
Yeah,
and they should.
absolutely. It
Yeah,
should be a win-win. Yeah.
I don't like that word anyhow. Because
Let's keep it to mutually rewarding relationship.
rewarding.
Yeah. I would, also ask a question. Can you share about your business model? When I say business model, that would be how does a person get in touch with you? What is that you do to convert that person to a paid customer? And then finally, what is your delivery system? So, what is the entire business model?
Firstly, is I totally believe what worked for me is adding tremendous value to my audience through LinkedIn, by sharing whatever I learned on the go, whatever I learned during my engagements with the client. So just keep sharing that and adding a lot of value, build that trust amongst my prospects. That, I'm not looking at a transactional arrangement of just writing a few lines and you give paying me. I'm invested in building your personal brand via, working on your thoughts, working on your approach. So there's a lot of personal development also, which I kind of stitch with my offering, because every individual have their own set of challenges, and if
Right.
they want to project powerfully and build a strong personal brand, it can be only authentic if they worked on themselves on the go. At least that
Absolutely.
is what worked for me. So how do people connect with me is, there's a call to action on my LinkedIn profile, discovery call. You can always book a discovery call, and as the statement in the discovery call says, that let's understand if we are best fit for each other,
Yeah.
because that's the intent that I have. So I will give you suggestions as per my knowledge, even if we are not the best fit.
Right.
If I know
Exactly.
someone that I can put you across, I will make sure that I do that, so that we have a mutually rewarding call. So
Yeah.
that's my intent always. The other way you can connect with me is drop a DM, and if you're not finding a probable slot on the discovery call, you can email me. You can always message me. Once the call happens and we have an intent to start the engagement, I share a proposal. During the call, I specifically tell them why I'm doing what I'm doing, why they should be doing what they are doing, have the objective in place. Also, tell them, give them a very clear heads up on the process and a clear heads up on the price point, so
Yeah.
that there's no ambiguity. I don't, so I talk about my pricing in the discovery call itself.
Yeah.
And since I have a very productized offering, whether you or whether anyone else, I'm going to charge the same. So it's
Yeah.
never like, it depends on the scope of work, and it depends on, my offering, so to say. So since it's productized, I'm more confident in selling it or mentioning it during the call. So this is again a learning for people who have a very customized offering,
Yeah.
because you give that window for your prospect to, look out for other options. You give that window for your prospect to think, give a second thought.
Yeah.
But when you are pitching the pricing with confidence, and you know what you are talking about, it kind of instantly builds that trust.
Absolutely.
And I have had a good conversion rate in my inbound leads, which is like close to 20 to 25%. So if I'm getting, say, 3 to 4 leads in a week, I'm able to convert one, which is a
Yeah.
decent, I believe, as far as the paid
Yeah, that
marketing.
is that is amazing. Yeah, that is
So,
amazing.
yes, because what happens is, the person who's coming to me on a discovery call have intent of building a personal brand. This is number one.
Yeah.
Understands that perhaps she can give me the solution, because the person has on an average followed me for some
Right.
time, found me, and then discovered my content, etc., and then came to me. So the trust element is there. Only thing is needed is, well, am I the one who can offer the kind of solution that the person is looking for? And if the
Right.
answer is yes, largely they agree to it. Now, once you have signed up an engagement with me, I invest considerably in strategizing, because I truly, truly believe that it sets the foundation, and also
Right.
it enables me to understand you completely, so
Right.
that I am able to represent you on LinkedIn better.
Right.
And once this 1 month transaction strategy period is over, then we decide on the frequency of how many posts or content that I am supposed to write for you, and from engagement standpoint, what all will be my deliverables. And depending on the scope of work, we start our engagement. Now, also for ghostwriting, I need 15. I tell them very emphatically that I need at least 30 to 45 minutes of your time in a week, because I I'm very particular about personalizing the content. I
Absolutely.
So for that
100%.
to happen, so for instance, I'm not someone who's a telecom expert. You are the person, right? So
Yeah,
you're
right.
supposed to give me the inputs. You're supposed to give me those personal anecdotes for me to represent you in the most authentic way.
Exactly. I
So
100% agree to that.
that's what right now I'm doing. I also do corporate trainings. Again, I've got these leads inbound, but now I'm like shaping an offering around it. Uh, Leadership training is something which is picking up big time. So organizations are investing in employee advocacy and things like that through LinkedIn. So all that is also part of my offering. I've been doing it, but I had not kind of structured it as an offering anywhere earlier. But yeah, this year I have started doing it, and 2024 obviously it's going to be
Game
all out.
changer. Yeah. Thank you so much for, sharing the entire system. I'm sure everybody who's listening will have their own nuggets to take from it and to learn from it. As you mentioned, the pricing, that is obviously a really nice thing to learn and move towards when you're moving towards scaling, because if you keep it customized, the scaling becomes difficulty. So for scaling, that's definitely something that should be picked up. I think I'll ask my last question, and that is, what is the first step any female should take if they're aspiring to be an entrepreneur?
Okay.
Have I asked a
First step,
difficult question?
first step, because first step is self belief
Yeah,
and a clear understanding of what you're getting into.
right.
Okay, so it's definitely not a cakewalk.
Yeah,
It is very lonely at times, most times, in fact. Uh, but at the end of the day, if you find it emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially rewarding, this is something that you should stick around with, because things will work out. If they not do not, nothing works out in the first 5 months or 6 months or 1 year.
absolutely. Yeah,
So you have to be ready for that. Now women if you are the breadwinner of your house, definitely the money aspect is very crucial. So think through that. Can you survive for 1 year?
yeah,
And if you can survive comfortably for 1 year, the second and most important thing that I would advocate, which I have personally done, is from the day one, keep in mind that you're going to reinvest 40% of your revenue in the business, at least for the first 4 or 5 years,
absolutely.
because that
Yeah,
is the moment you start treating your revenue as your income, that's where you start going wrong.
exactly. I agree. I agree. Because that's a
So
lot what you need in your business when you start out. Then there's learning, then there are mentors, programs, and then team once you build a team. So you need that. And when there are situations like COVID, for example, then what do? You need to have like a safe cushion. So I'm 100% on that.
So I read somewhere, and this kind of stuck with me. I was almost in a very complacent stage in 2021, where थोड़े पैसे बना लिए, जितना नौकरी में बना रही थी उससे तो 5 times 10 times हो रहा था. So it was like good fun. I'm
Yeah,
buying what I want to buy, and I'm like having a good time. I'm being complacent. And I read this post. I remember I read it, Sahil Bloom, or I don't know. I'm forgetting. But are you playing the game for surviving, or are you playing the game for winning? And
yeah,
I said, shit, like I'm just playing the game for surviving, and this is not done. And I think this was this, sometimes you have this aha moment, just
light,
like
yeah, light
myself.
bulb moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So since then I've decided that the moment I have this feeling that I'm playing to survive, I have to push myself.
absolutely. Yeah. I think we will close and wrap up with that strong statement that play the game for winning and not just for surviving. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. I will also put your LinkedIn link in the description so that all the listeners can go forward to you, connect with you if they want to learn from you, take your services, or for that matter, go to her and tell her that you heard her on the podcast and you loved her journey. Thank
Please
you
do.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Manmeet.
Thank you. Bye bye.